Hey guys, I'm Jim, KN4YCD, and you're watching FEP Labs Radio. Thanks for stopping by. I got a new toy. This came today. I ordered this off of Banggood about a month ago. This is an Owon handheld oscilloscope. This isn't going to be a long video. This is not an in-depth review of this device, but I just wanted to share it with everybody. I talk about oscilloscopes a lot in the Toads Discord and on my channel, and you guys know I like to mess with test equipment and learn what I'm doing with it, and I still am well involved in learning what I'm doing with it. But this is cool. I have 4 other oscilloscopes. I didn't need yet another oscilloscope, but this is a handheld one. So I've already opened the box, ta-da, see, and had everything out. I was so excited. So here's what we got in the box, and you can tell I've already got this hooked up as well. We have the Owon HDS 2102S oscilloscope, digital multimeter, as well as a signal generator. This is a 2-channel 100 megahertz oscilloscope. So there are a couple models of this. There's a 70 megahertz model, and I think there may be one higher. I can't remember. This is the 2102 oscilloscope, and as you can see, it's 100 megahertz on this guy. This is so 2 channels. We have a channel 1 and a channel 2 input. It's also a signal generator, and this is our 50 ohm output for using it as a signal generator. Now, I actually, for this video, I have it hooked up to my Unity 962 UTG 962 signal generator. But this will act as a signal generator on its own, and we'll give that a quick try here in a minute. But I just wanted to show you kind of some of the features this thing has. A little bit of artifact. I'm jiggling around here. And I have not charged this. It came with about a half charge in the battery. So it has a bail on it, so you can stand it up. Of course, I don't know how well that's going to show up on camera. Yeah, not at all. So let's see if we can... That'll work. That'll work. So obviously 2 channels, channel 1 and channel 2, and the spectrum analyzer. The mode function switches between oscilloscope and digital voltmeter here, as you can see. The function buttons, F1 through F4, are soft keys, so their function changes with each press and based on what it is. So that's AC voltage, back to DC voltage, DC current, and it gives you some information about how to connect it up properly and then execute it. Otherwise, press the return key and we'll go back out of that. Here's our volt scale or millivolt scale, right? And then this lets us change the function of the digital multimeter between voltage, inductance, capacitance, and continuity. So I don't have that hooked up down here. The multimeter functions work just like a standard multimeter, and those leads go in down here. So that's pretty straightforward. We'll hit mode again. This takes us to the function generator setup, which we're not going to play with, but that's where I would set it up. What frequency I want, what amplitude of the signal, how big it is voltage-wise, and any offset I want to put in there. We can change the waveform from a sine wave to a square wave, to a ramp and a pulse, arbitrary waveform, and back to sine. That's pretty good. This is nice. This lets me set the frequency in hertz, or the period in time, as in milliseconds, nanoseconds, etc. So that's pretty cool. This arrows through the menus to let me change it. And of course, if I mode, then we go back to oscilloscope. On oscilloscope, what we have, I don't think my cable must not be hooked up all the way or something here. What we have on the oscilloscope setting is the 4 cursor keys here give us up and down. So this is our vertical position of our trace, and then right and left when it's in vertical mode, sets our time base, or vertical scale rather. And then if we hit HOR, that changes the function keys, the function of these arrow keys, to allow us to adjust our horizontal scale. So right and left moves us back and forth in time on the wave. You can see there on that little arrow, as I move back and forth, it moves up top. And then up and down when I'm in the time base, lets me change the time base that I'm using to look at my signal. So it's pretty compact. That's a lot of functionality. And then to go back to my vertical functions, I hit channel 1 again, and it takes me back to channel 1. If I hit this again, I can go to channel 2, and it shows me the settings for channel 2, and so on and so forth, back and forth. We can change the coupling to AC or DC. I assume we can also set that to ground coupling. Yes, we can. There it is. So you can set your reference point. We're looking at the yellow trace here. And then we can change our probe, 1x, 10x, so on and so forth. Bandwidth settings, this is on full bandwidth 100, so I can hit that and change our bandwidth down to 20 megahertz or full bandwidth. So pretty cool. Guys, that's the short version of what this does. It's an oscilloscope, so there's way more to it than that, and I've had this thing open literally 30 minutes. It comes with 2 BNC to alligator clip probes. It comes with a standard 1x, 10x oscilloscope probe. This is probably a 100 megahertz rated probe. Does it say? Yeah, this is an OW3100 100 megahertz probe. It's a 100 megahertz scope, so we don't need any more than a 100 megahertz probe. I'm going to get out a video later in the week and we'll test this and see how good the bandwidth is on this, and if we actually achieve 100 megahertz or potentially higher. This also comes with standard DVM style probes, right? Banana plug on one end and the pointy thing on the other. This also comes with an USB-A to USB-C USB cable, as well as a little bit of an instruction manual and a CD with some software and probably the guide on it. This will connect, and I'm going to go ahead and disconnect the signal from it. This will connect to USB, I believe, somewhere. There it is, right here. And it also comes with a power plug, either United States or European. Someone whose name rhymes with Dim got this with a European plug. It just transforms to USB power, so it's not a big deal. Here's our input for our power. In some way that should come open, but I don't have the fingernails for it. There we go. So there's our USB-C power connector there, and those 2 lugs right there would be our reference to do the calibration on our probes. So very cool. So USB charged and powered, obviously battery powered, with a built-in signal generator and a full-featured digital multimeter. So pretty cool. There will be more videos coming of this in the next week or so. Guys, that's all I've got for today. Thanks for watching 73s.